got a lot to talk about today with UFOs, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, look at this amazing video of what might be some divers encountering some sort of underwater anomaly. This is pretty cool. You see, the divers doing their thing, and then that weird object just then it jets off and does some funky maneuvers. I think that is incredible. And look how it goes through the bubbles, which I think is probably a good indication that it's not CGI, and the way that it's moving is very anomalous. It feels very genuine to me. I mean, let me know if you disagree, but I think this is a really cool video. Now, I'm a little suspicious because the cameraman was able to keep it in frame for so long and to move with it. But yeah, look how it's going through the bubbles like that. I think that's just really, really awesome. Here it is at full speed, where you can see the interesting way this thing moves. Yeah, and then it just shoots off and does some funky maneuvers. It's almost like it wants to stay in frame, which I think is kind of interesting. Did it want them to film it? And I like this one because people are trying to ask Grok about it, and I'll just read it to you. That video shows divers spotting a bright moving object underwater, presented as an unidentified submerged object. Possible explanations include bioluminescent marine life like jellyfish or squid, a drone, bubbles, reflection, or editing. Searches didn't find a definitive source, so it's uncertain. Diving deeper, the video frames show divers over a coral reef spotting a bright spherical object emerging from below, glowing and moving smoothly before fading. Watermark UFO TOP suggests it's from a UFO content creator, possibly edited for effect. From searches, similar USO footage shows spherical objects entering water, often explained as drones or reflections. Teflon Rabbit says, hoax is unlikely due to instinctive camera tracking behind bubble shots in diverse organic reactions, or the divers, organic reactions. Natural would be a completely unknown species. Grok says, interesting take. The divers' reactions do seem genuine, and the object's smooth motion is puzzling. From frames, it resembles bioluminescent marine life. The Abyss parallels are fun. From the movie The Abyss. I thought that was an interesting little exchange, trying to get to the truth of this really intriguing thing. I don't know if the divers have really much time to react here, but that diver does seem to be looking at it. And the other one is trying to keep it in frame. So anyway, a really interesting case. I don't know that channel UFO Top, so let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Meanwhile, we have heard that from Eric Burleson that Jay Stratton was not being prioritized as a witness by David Grush, for a potential UFO hearing or a skiff meeting. Well, Danny Sheehan is saying not so fast. They are trying to talk to Jay Stratton.
What high-level officials do you think in the past and present have had knowledge of this?
Well, for example, Jay Stratton has knowledge of it. He was the head of the United States Pentagon Advanced Weapons Special Access Program. He knows all about it. And
is he going to testify?
Well, we're trying to get him to testify. What he's saying is, well, there's not adequate protections in place that they could retaliate against him. He could never get another promotion. They may interfere and try to withhold his pension. That they can do all kinds of things which the present law doesn't adequately protect them against.
So yeah, there you go. They are trying to talk to Jay Stratton. As far as whistleblower protections, as I reported on, Tim Burchett is trying to do something about that. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see if that conversation does happen with Jay Stratton. I think he is a really interesting figure in all of this. Now he's tied up in Skinwalker Ranch his really amazing encounter or hitchhiker with that werewolf-like figure that was seen by members of his family and others. I would be really interested to see him testify about that before Congress. I doubt they're going to ask him about that, but that'd be interesting. Now, speaking of the Skinwalker Ranch crew, this is one of my favorite videos. It was analyzed by Dr. Travis Taylor of Skinwalker Ranch, showing this flying pyramid over a U.S. war fleet. This, whatever the heck this object is. Now, when Bray and Moultrie testified before Congress, they didn't use Dr. Taylor's explanation or his conclusions that this was a genuinely anomalous object. They used Mick West's explanation that this was a bokeh effect, of the lens, which is speaks to how credible they are, right? They're just carrying water for the control group, for the establishment. I call them Heckle and Jekyll, Bray and Moultrie. But it's a great incident. And Stephen Greenstreet was asking George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell about this. And I learned something that I didn't know about this incident. Maybe I had heard it, but I didn't sink in. Now, he starts off by saying that Dr. Travis Taylor said this object was a bokeh effect of the lens, which is untrue. Dr. Travis Taylor has said that, nope, it was anomalous. Now, I think Stephen Greenstreet is saying this because Bray and Moultrie went with the bokeh effect explanation at the hearing, but that was not Dr. Taylor's conclusion. He was their chief scientist, the chief scientist of the UAP task force, and they should have gone with this conclusion, which is probably why why Stephen Greenstreet, not a doctor, says that, or at least pretends to believe that. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on because I got something out of this. The audio isn't great, but there are subtitles.
And something like flying pyramids makes more sense than out of focus stars.
That's a good question. A couple of things. One is you'll hear it this afternoon from Jay Stratton that they have a lot more information that was available behind the scenes that was made public. And I know that Mr. Bray, during that public hearing, showed a video of something that was bokeh on the East Coast and decided that proved that what was seen on the West Coast was the same thing. There's a rangefinder. They shot that off the deck of that ship. Whatever that object was that was closest was 700 feet off the deck of the ship, not a star. If it had been bokeh, as it was explained to me by the guys who studied it, I think what Jay had told us before and what we can expand on today is he had 3 PhDs, optical physicists that analyzed that stuff. And they figured that if bokeh was the explanation, it would be the stars that were looked like pyramids, not the object that was closest to the.
Yeah, so there you go. They had a rangefinder and were able to determine that this thing was 700 feet from the ship, not a star. So, for those of you still thinking this incident was debunked as a bokeh effect, well, it was only debunked by Heckle and Jekyll. So this was an actual flying pyramid over a U.S. war fleet. Meanwhile, Dr. Avi Loeb is giving us an update on 3i Atlas. Recent spectroscopic data from the Very Large Telescope in Chile reported the surprising detection of cyanide and nickel without iron in the plume of gas around 3i Atlas, with steeply increasing rates as the object approaches the sun. Nickel without iron is a signature of industrial production of nickel alloys. Natural comets generically show iron and nickel simultaneously, as both elements are produced simultaneously in supernova explosions. So there you go. He's saying nickel without iron is a signature of industrial production. So could this be more evidence that 3-Eye Atlas is artificial, that it's an actual UFO? I've definitely seen some things that make me raise an eyebrow about 3-Eye Atlas. But as long as we've got crazy stuff running around our skies and our oceans, I continue to be less excited about stuff that's far away in space that may or may not be anomalous. But I do think it's interesting. I'll definitely be keeping my eye on it. So let me know what you think. Meanwhile, Jason Wild is giving us some tips on contact.
And then it became connection. Same words, different intention, different outcome. So just apply that to contact, right? When you reach out to beings, you're not just shooting a signal into the sky, you're broadcasting your state of mind. So fear, it's a frequency, and so is anger, and so is wonder. And guess what? So is surrender. And beings, I mean, whatever they are, they respond to frequency faster than words. I mean, just ask anyone who's had an encounter. The mood they carried shaped what showed up. And, if they were drunk, terrified, or, daring the sky to prove itself, what arrived was often super chaotic, super confusing, sometimes very terrifying. But then when they were calm, open, prayerful even, what usually appears is luminous, gentle, guiding. Same sky, same night.
Yeah, so if you are inclined to do CE5, and I've done it on a number of occasions, and we've had contact every time, but we've never had anything negative. We always go into it with love and light and with gratitude. And so if you are inclined to try to have contact of your own, I definitely encourage you to go into it with love and light. Last but not least, the time a horse joined a bicycle race. Look at this. Jumps over the fence, and this just joins in. Man, need to get him a bicycle. He could have won. Love it. Love it. All right. Let me know what you think about this amazing horse in his dreams of becoming a bicycle racer, and everything else covered in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. Love to see you guys there. If you want to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, consider grabbing a coffee mug or a t-shirt in the merch store below, or by becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really do appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.